Internationally played team sports are events that are intended to represent countries above their athletes as a means to garner global goodwill. Now, it's common knowledge that the national teams of countries are supposed to be filled with athletes who are proud to compete for their country. So, why is it that the United States seems to be the only nation that accepts athletes who are willing to openly demonstrate contempt for their country? Well, let's talk about that. Hey, welcome back to Enough with the Crazy. The intention of international sports like the Olympics is to bring nations together in an environment that is free from the struggles of politics. Athletes from around the world come together to compete against one another and represent their individual countries. They are people who train hard and sacrifice much just to have the honor to represent their country on the world stage. But by what we can see in the opening ceremonies of the games played in the Women's World Cup, this can't be said for the majority of those on the U.S. team. In view of the entire world, our national team is the only team that can be seen with the majority of their players not holding their hands over their hearts and singing our anthem in a display of pride for our country. Now, I don't think that there are too many people who would disagree with me when I say that sports are a big part of our society. Sports is a huge business and generates billions of dollars every year in revenue. Sports bring people together. It gives people something to cheer about and to feel a great sense of pride for. And in my mind, nothing does that more than sports played on an international level. With all the problems that countries may face internally, national teams can actually unite a nation as the people cheer together for those athletes who compete for pride of country. So, how embarrassing is it when our women's national team continually refuses to represent the honor that it is to compete for our country in front of the entire world? And as usual, this is what one of the things our U.S. women's national soccer team is known for. Recently, the FIFA Women's World Cup began, and of course, the United States team refuses to honor our national anthem. In the clips I've seen of the World Cup, every nation's team sang their country's anthem with pride, everyone that is, except for the U.S. Only a couple of our team's members had their hands over their heart, and even fewer sang the anthem. Now, as an American citizen, I am fully aware of the problems we have in this country. I am fully aware that this woke movement, wherein hate and race baiters are intentionally causing great strife, are, by my view, the most detrimental force creating havoc and division among us. I am fully aware that our government politicians, whether on a national or local level, are making careers of dividing us for the purpose of personal financial gain and public status. I am fully aware that we have need to better correct certain injustices that occur in our society and for all people. But I am also very aware that despite these things, we have the great blessing of living in a country where, at least for now, we still have the freedoms and liberties our Constitution affords us. I understand that we're not a perfect nation. I also understand that there isn't a nation in the world that is perfect. In fact, I know that most countries don't have the blessings and freedoms we have and regularly take advantage of. But what I don't understand is why these entitled women soccer players who apparently have such an irreverent view of our country would want to represent the country they hate by playing on our national team. Well, to me, the answer is because of the personal benefit they get from it. Through their display of contempt for our anthem, it's clear that they don't care about the country they supposedly represent, they only care about the exposure they get. And that, because if they do well, then they can make a lot of money from endorsements and the fame they can then claim. It's all about how they can use the system to personally profit from being on a team that is supposed to care most about representing their country. But where is their sense of conviction to what it is that they claim is so bad about our country, whereby they won't honor our anthem? After all, if you're so convinced of how bad this country is, why would you even want to represent it on any platform, let alone on the world stage like the FIFA World Cup? Well, as they say, actions speak louder than words. And in their case, their actions clearly demonstrate that they don't care enough about the causes they claim to be fighting for, whereby they're willing to sacrifice the personal benefit they receive from playing on the national team. In essence, they're all about standing up for the oppressed, as long as it doesn't affect their own personal gain. So, along with many others, I now find myself rooting against our women's national team because of the level of their continual whining and blatant hypocrisy. And look, I completely understand and endorse anyone's right to complain about their country. I completely endorse everyone's right to have their own opinion about our country. That's the freedom this country provides. But what I don't understand is how there isn't the existing prerequisite that anyone who would play on any of our national teams must be someone who is proud to represent the respect and honor of our country. If you want to hate on our country in your personal life or through your professional sports team, go right ahead. But when someone chooses to play for our national team, they should be required to have the desire to represent our country with honor and respect. And if they can't do that, then they just shouldn't be allowed to play on our team. After all, winning the gold isn't as important as having a national team that believes in their country. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And if you like this type of content, please take a moment to share this video with others, as it'll be an immense help to me in growing the channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it will greatly help me to grow. As always, I'd like to say God bless and thanks for taking the time to listen. Until next time.